Hello all and welcome back to my channel, Drunk Crafts with Paige. I am Paige and today I am drinking a combination of wine and pop. And this week I thought it would be fun to kind of revisit nature coasters, or I guess kind of beachy coasters. One of my very first attempts, if you remember, of resin coasters, they were just in silicone molds and we put some stones and driftwood and stuff in those. And I thought it really didn't do it justice. And plus, that was my first experiment with resin ever. So I thought it would be fun to kind of revisit those, bring out my multitude of stones and beachy finds, and we're gonna try stuff a little differently. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned. Okay, so this different take on beachy coasters. Something else I have an abundance of, as well as these beach items, are mason jar lids. These came from the baby shower centerpiece craft that we did together, where we painted all of the jars and kind of stuffed them with flowers. So now we have leftover lids. And I thought it would be fun to fill these up and make these our coasters. So the first step is going to be gluing these two parts together. We don't want any resin like spilling out and leaking through these. So I'm just gonna take hot glue, go around the rim, press the pieces together. I don't think I need to walk you guys step by step through that portion. It's just to ensure that these two pieces are sealed together and our resin that we're gonna pour into it isn't gonna leak all over your table. Once these lids are glued together and sufficiently dry, we're gonna be starting on our first layer of resin, which is actually gonna be a resin and sand combo. I've got this beautiful bottle of Lake Michigan sand, and we're gonna be slowly adding it little by little into the resin because you don't want too much plain resin, but you want the sand to be incorporated enough that it is all fully saturated with the resin. And we're just gonna put a small thin layer, enough to probably cover the bottom of this jar. And we're gonna take various stones, sea glass, driftwood, and kind of nestle it into the sand. You can choose to do whatever with this. If you just want to lay the stones on top, fine. If you want to kind of bury them, make it look a little different, good for you. This is also a bonus because it will keep the driftwood down into the sand. If we were to just fill it all the way to the top with resin, the driftwood would float. So this is gonna keep all of your stones and beachy items down and in place. And we're just gonna do that first layer. Here is what they all look like with just the layer of sand. You can see some of the stones are not fully covered. Some of them, like the sea glass, are like totally buried. It all depends on like how thick the stones you end up placing in the sand and whether you choose to like super bury them in the resin sand or if you just kind of let them float on the top. I found that I preferred having the wood pieces in there. I thought they looked really cool. So here's what they look like with the first layer of just the resin sand. And now I plan on filling them the rest of the way up with just some clear resin. I'm outside now, which means it's time for the final reveal of these coasters, but I had a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about that I didn't include on camera before. So first of all, you may have noticed in my time lapse that I added some white to these coasters to kind of make it look like beach waves. I added just a very small drop of acrylic white paint to my remaining resin. Adding too much paint will ruin the chemistry of the resin, so you don't want too much in there, but it was enough to give the resin a white appearance, and I used my heat gun to kind of blow it around. And I think they look so cool like that, with just that little added touch. Next, I realized, obviously we did these in mason jar lids, and they looked like they were done in mason jar lids. So I decided to add some color to the edges, and they're all nice and blue. I think it's a nice, it reminds you of water. And finally, I added cork to the bottom. I cut out some circles to the shape of the bottom of the lid. These are already adhesive pieces, so I could just peel back the cork and stick them to the bottom. And I think it makes, all these details makes these coasters look so much cleaner. I think with the cork on there, it helps grip to the surface, while also not the lid won't scratch whatever table you are putting them on. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you all enjoyed it. All of my links are down in the description box below, as usual, for Instagram, my PayPal account, and for my Facebook page, which still has some pieces for sale up on it if you are interested in buying one of those. And I will see you guys all for the next video.